Soldiers of the 53rd Infantry Battalion in Wum Town of Menchum Division have been awarded with epaulets as due to their hard work and resilience. The ceremony that was organized recently at the garrison headquarters in Wum Town was presided over by the senior divisional officer for Menchum, Abdullahi Aliu, as he exhorted the soldiers to redouble efforts in seeing security and peace returns to the Menchum Division. We have details in the upcoming reports done for us by Rita Mafani Mujoko.
Following the recent ministerial decree signed by the Minister Delegate of the Presidency of the Republic in charge of Defense, Joseph Beti Asomo, promoting some staff in the ministry in Menchum Division in the Northwest region, the situation wasn't different as the SDO presided over the occasion at the 53rd Infantry Battalion.
Of Menchum Division, Happy New Year 2024, best wishes, prosperity and health. And then secondly, I want to appreciate the celebration of this morning at the 53rd beam of Wum of this ceremony of epaulets. I want to see that opportunity to appreciate all work that has been done by our forces of defense and security, and to continue to advise them to be vigilant and to be active, operational on the field, and to work hand in glove with our population in order to permit them to live in real normalcy.
The epaulets award ceremony that took place in Wum, the civil administrator on his part encourages the newly promoted to do well in all they do, calling on all to be collaborative with the forces of law and order so as to bring back the heydays of peace and prosperity in the land, he says.
Yes, I want to advise the population to be in collaboration with our military forces and to come back and to live in their various villages, because if you realize all the headquarters of our subdivisions have military posts. So I want the population to know that they are always with their military, and they have to work with their military. They have to give information, permit the military to work correctly and to handle the challenges of crisis that we are facing.
At the dawn of the event, all were called upon to uphold the ethics of the profession.
Recent statistics provided by the Cameroon Human Rights Commission that reveals that some 600 Cameroonians are visually impaired. As the world celebrates World Braille Day yesterday, Thursday, 4th of January 2024, on the theme Empowering Through Inclusion and Diversity, our newsroom reporter picks interest on the history and evolution of the Braille product that was discovered by a French kid in the 19th century. Katse with a reporter on this report.
Every 4th January, the world observes World Braille Day, the day that is attributed to a 10-year-old French child, Louis Braille, who was involved in an accident that led to him losing his sight. Being enrolled in a school for the visually impaired children in France, it was there that he created the Braille machine, which came to being in assistance visually impaired persons to read and write. This year's theme is Empowering Through Inclusion and Diversity. In Cameroon, an estimated 600,000 persons are visually impaired, as attained by the Cameroon Human Rights Commission in a 2021 report. In the aforementioned figures, 150,000 cannot read with their eyes, whereas 2,000 can read using the Braille machine. Societal nonchalancy is equally not left out, as persons living with visually impairment are looked down by their communities. As such, community educational emphasis needs to be redoubled such that visually impaired persons can be absorbed by mainstream society. In Cameroon, with our inclusion policy that has led to the floodgate of the opening of specialized centers meant for visually impaired persons, where they can be trained to read and write using their Braille machine. As the world celebrates World Braille Day, put in place by the United Nations Organization since 2019, this day is dedicated to all persons who are passing through visually impaired men situation, that they shouldn't look down on themselves, just like Louis Braille didn't look down on himself and succeeded in becoming a global figure. They too can still be looked upon and as a reference point.
We move now to the Northwest region, where the Senior Divisional Officer for Ngoketunjia Division, Kwetong Anderson, has expressed mixed feelings for 2023 as he forecasts that 2024 will be a better year for his division that he commands. He was speaking to our Northwest Bureau Chief, Peter Wingo.
Neutralization of armed robbers in their efforts and activities coming from the different villages, we have come up with a prefectural order which prohibits, which regulates the operation of the circulation of motorbikes, and which shall henceforth be limited and confined within each village. The motorbikes that exist in a village will operate within the confines of that village, and if they were to transport passengers, they will leave those passengers at the level of the limits of the boundaries of the villages, and those who are within the limits of the boundaries of the next village will collect the passengers and go. For any movement from one village to another, you will require the authorization from a competent authorities. And we want to make it clear now that all motorbikes owners must prepare their documents according to the rules and regulations in force, where they will be registered and identified in conformity with the laws in place. We were indeed faced with a major setback, which was the collapse of 2 bridges along the National Road number 11 at the Bamali Junction and Mile 25. Thanks to the timely intervention of government, some temporal arrangements were made for deviations, which immediately solved the problem, and the roads are passing, even if it's on temporary basis, while looking for a permanent solution. Another major economic project worth mentioning is the economic tiering of the Bamali Junction Bisa Beach project of about 22 kilometers. Bisa is an island in Bambala, from where you can cross with the canoe, with the engine boat, and find yourself in Koptamo subdivision in the Noon. So this project will go a long way, not only to bring the development closer to the people, but despite the very bright picture of the division as to all these events that took place in the year just past, there exists a series of other problems which are still hanging that deserve some attention. Will certainly keep us to continue to work for this coming year. We have been able to sensitize the population to a certain level where I can say they are empowered and have some confidence to carry out their daily activities. But they need to go further to be able to denounce and why not resist some of the atrocities which are taking place.
We talk something else on this newscast. After winning the Global Pluralism Award on her part for her enormous contributions towards humanity, Esther Jumo of Reach Out Cameroon has presented the awards that was given to her in Canada to her region of origin, as he presented the set award to Southwest Governor Bernard Okalia-Bilai, who on his part congratulated her for her enormous works that she has been doing throughout and promises that they will go a long way to bring back peace in the southwest and northwest region. Adeline Ayefo Akumeni sat through that event and a report.
Women are longing to be free.
On November 14, 2023, Madam Omam Esther, Chief Executive Officer of Reach Out Cameroon, a humanitarian organization based in Boya, southwest region of the country, received in honor of her outstanding contribution towards unity in diversity the Global Pluralism Award, presented by the Center for Pluralism, chaired by His Highness the Aga Khan.
Madam Esther Omar.
In honor of our region of operation, the awardees therefore presented this crowning award to the Governor of the Southwest Region, His Excellency Bernard Okalia-Bilai, in a ceremony that took place recently in the conference room of the Governor's office. Madam Omam Esther considers the Global Pluralism Award as recognition of years of hard work and sacrifice her NGO, Reach Out Cameroon, puts in to better the lives of several Cameroonians.
It's about the work which we've been doing to address social injustices, inequalities and discrimination, marginalization, bringing life-saving solutions to vulnerable populations in affected communities, and adding to that, humanitarian response and the peace mediation work which we've been doing. All this cumulated to this award, which was very competitive because we had 200 participants, 61 countries, and finally we brought it home.
In the presence of other dignitaries of the region, including the DO for Boya Subdivision, Mr. Abba Abdurrahman, the delegate for Women's Empowerment, Madam Sonet Lucia, Women Peace Groups, among others, the governor challenged her to work even harder.
The commitment is now more than ever before. We've done advocacy meetings, we've gone to places to see that our children go back to school. We've given food relief. We've been addressing gender-based violence. We are not without knowing that in this region we have a peace house which serves as a safe space for people, especially women, who have been subject to violence. We've been carrying out community dialogue and mobile health clinics in the various communities. You know, as a result of what we are facing, we are poised to carry out holistic approaches to what we are doing, so that they touch the people in one way or the other and cause stability within the communities which we are serving.
The Global Pluralism Award is a yearly event that recognizes and celebrates the inspiring and brave works of individuals, organizations, and governments in helping to build more inclusive societies where diversity is valued and protected.
We cross over to our lone headline as we did tell you. The Senior Divisional Officer of Ngogotunja Division, Quentin Anderson, has awarded epaulets to some 18 military officials. This was during a special epaulet award ceremony that took place at the Infantry Battalion Garrison in Dogtown. More with our reporter on that story.
A special awards epaulet ceremony for soldiers in Ngogotunja Division of the Northwest Region is being presided over by the Senior Divisional Officer of the area as he congratulates the newly promoted.
Our congratulations our blessings to them, that their limits should be the sky. But as you all know, they are not being compensated for nothing. They are being compensated for a work.
The epaulette recipients are 9 B soldiers, 1 B sub-officer, 2 gendarmerie officers, and 6 soldiers as the top divisional administrator blesses them. During the ceremony, one thing that the presiding officer frowns at was the persistent rate of ghost town in the area, as he charges all to take adequate measures to change the status quo of ghost towns.
Is that freedom? I kidnap you. Is that freedom? I say, I'm fighting for freedom. I block the road so that you should not move. So, if we are sitting like this and celebrating, it's because the security situation is under control. But we need to go steps further. We need to do more. It's just to tell you that as far as the security of Gontunja is concerned, we have tolerated and people have taken advantage of everything to take pretext of the time of the land to do any type of thing. That has to end. So those are some of the few things which I thought I should tell you people. If you have your store, you have a business place, open it. You are a transporter, operate. Anything that you are doing, you do. If somebody disturbs you, you come to us.
The military hierarchical structure of the Inter-Rapid Battalion Regiment in the area congratulated the newly promoted, as he called upon them to do their best when it comes to the functionality and execution of their functions. As the different hierarchical figures enjoin the newly promoted to be assiduous in all they do, one thing remains sure and clear, that is everyone in Gaokatunja Division must work hand in hand to enhance peace and security in all ramifications.
You are watching High Prime and we are coming to you live from a news studio here in High Television. We cross over to Buea, where a Buea-based enterprise known as Royal Cable Limited has awarded special prizes to some outstanding workers of that said enterprise as they celebrated end-of-year activities and festivities that round up at their headquarters in Buea. In the festivities that follow, it's something that captured our newsroom reporter Alice Like Liengu Ikomi will now report.
They have been making sure that the population of Buea and beyond gets images from various TV stations in their homes, thereby indirectly educating and providing necessary information to viewers. Royal Cable Limited recently, in an end-of-year celebration, appreciated its workers for their inputs to the company. The event that witnessed the representative of the divisional officer for Buea and the Southwest Delegate of Communication saw awards given to outstanding workers. Items like rice, oil, and other stuff were distributed to all the workers to support them as they celebrate the new year. It is worth noting that Royal Cable Limited was created in the year 2013 and has been serving the local population consistently and effectively.
On our foreign dossier for tonight, tens of thousands in Somali resident has gathered at the Konis Stadium recently as they are angered about the agreement that was signed between Ethiopia and Somaliland, where sea and other border localities will be functioning according to the norms and caprices of these two countries. Aisha Mbeng reports.
Ethiopia is believed to have been granted an exclusive lease on the sea for a period of 50 years, which has raised concerns about Somalia's sovereignty as a result. The Mogadishu Regional Administration organized the rally to allow residents to express their concerns regarding the perceived encroachment on Somalia's maritime territory. In the scene, Somalis were chanting and holding banners throughout, worried that the lease agreement would undermine Somalia's national interests and put their livelihood in danger. According to demonstrators, the lease could establish a precedent for further resource exploitation in Somalia. Several others, including Hossein Jessim, have advised the Ethiopian government to cease its violations and interventions.
The federal government finds it unacceptable that we're ignored by an Ethiopian prime minister who belittles our federal government's rule by delegitimizing it. That's a violation and unacceptable.
In their warnings about the dangers of the agreement, the speakers also urged the crowd to unite in order to defend the sovereignty of Somalia. During the rally, participants spoke about the potential long-term effects of the deal, as well as the need for a united front to combat any perceived threats to national freedom and economic stability that could be posed by the deal in future.
With barely few days to go for the 34th edition of the African Cup of Nations scheduled for Ivory Coast, Team Cameroon is once again on the spotlight. This time around, as players have failed to meet their fellow teammates for training at Rabat in Saudi Arabia. This has, as such, has caused many sports pundits to be talking about the failure of the set players to meet up with the set training deadline, as barely few days to go for the African Cup of Nations. More with our sports news reporter.
It is 9 days to the 2023 African Cup of Nations competition. All 24 teams are gearing towards performing in Ivory Coast. Out of the 27-man list made public by Coach Rigobert Song, just 22 have entered present as of Wednesday, 3rd January 2024. According to reports speculating on social media, Andre Onana will only be released by his club Manchester United the 14th of January. Meanwhile, Team Cameroon will be playing her first African Cup of Nations game on January 15 against Guinea. On the other side, it is Francois Regis who has refused his call-up over his team Marseille. Despite all this setback, serious training sessions are currently ongoing in the Lions Den in Saudi Arabia, where the Lions are preparing for their last friendly against Zambia on the 9th of January 2024, where they will be flying to Ivory Coast.
And may something be done out towards that area. With that sports report, this is for the curtains of tonight's newscast, High Prime, of Friday, the 5th of January 2024. Thanks so much for watching, and blessed weekend from us to you.